Okay, guys, I'm about to interview good friend John from Troop. I'm going to bring him in and get to start the interview. So, Troop are about to embark on a national tour, and so it's going to be great just to hear about what's happening with Troop and be able to hear from John. Okay,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah. Hey, hey, hey,
how you doing?
my man, how's it going?
Going good, going good. So,
Good to
yeah,
see you and good to hear from you.
yeah, no, definitely. So yeah, no, it's as I said, it's been a while, and since we
Yeah.
interviewed, it seems like quite a bit have happened with the guys. What's up with Troop these days?
Oh man, Troop has well, right now we're like on a promo tour of a lot of radio stations right now because we just released a new single, Lady of My Life, a tribute to, our boy, our mentor, Michael Jackson.
You,
So,
you remade it, or
we,
you made a version similar to it?
yeah, yeah.
No, did you do the remake of the original one, or did you just did you?
Yeah, the remake
Oh,
of the original, yeah, the remake of the original Michael Jackson's from Thriller, Lady of My Life, with the
okay.
twist on the end, a little bit of funny how time flies when you're having fun, a little bit of that on the end of by Janet.
Whoa.
It's really cool. It's really cool.
That's my all-time favorite song. That song is my all-time favorite song about any song. So, I'm very particular about it. So, when did it come out? So
Yeah.
I need to listen to it.
It actually came out February 15th.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Um, yeah, it just dropped. So but I'm having my peoples to go ahead to get ready to email you the record so you can check it out, you know.
Yeah. Is it available on
Um
streaming services? So, because I'm sure we
I
definitely want to
you
get
know
people.
what I believe so. I believe it's out now. I do believe it's out now. Troop Lady in My Life.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it comes across, I'll see it and I can start to push it and promote it. Are you guys going to do
Okay,
a
great,
video
great,
to
great.
it or anything?
Well, we're talking about it right now. So right now we're just trying to just, do a lot of the interviews on a lot of the radio stations here across the country, right here out in the US, doing a bunch of interviews, talking about it.
Wow. I mean, what is the plan when it comes to actually being on back on stage and touring?
Well, we actually been doing a lot of dates lately now. We just finished doing Dayton, Ohio, which was a killer show with John B and Drew Hill. It was a great show. We're getting ready to do another show with Boys to Men and
Oh
So For
yes,
Real.
so for real,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, then we have some other things that are coming up. Some more performances. We have to go back to Club Yoshi's in
Okay.
San Francisco. We have to go back over to we're doing a Black Expo again this year, uh September 25th. So yeah, we're just getting in those dates and we're calling it the Back to Life tour.
Okay, what do you mean by back to life?
Just, back on stage and back in front of our fans and just, you know, uh being personal with them and hanging out and and just back to life.
After during the pandemic, what was the plan? Did you guys just sort of, I won't say separate, but did you guys just go and do your individual things?
Well, we were just like kind of like basically like a hit and miss type of situation because some of us had solo dates and then we still had group dates. So we just kind of like worked the dates around within each other and not like really step on each other's toes. And when it was time to work on Troop, we worked on Troop. And when it's time to just go ahead and do some solo stuff, then we did the solo stuff. So we're kind of like mixing them both in within just work per se, but just doing the job and getting the job done. And when people call and secure a date for us to do a show, that we'll go ahead and check out each other's dates and see what we're doing, and we'll go ahead and take the date, go do the show, and keep it moving.
So, I mean, when you guys think of, so I interviewed, I don't know if you remember him, DOA Allen.
Derek, yeah, that's our boy. Yeah, that's our boy.
When I asked him, because he'd done Rhythm Nation, he's toured with Bobby, Lionel
Yeah.
Richie, everyone, and I said, so what was your favorite tour? And he said, without doubt, was the first tour with Troop. Was
Hmm.
his best tour ever.
Wow. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was the Troop and Keith Sweat tour. And sometimes along with DJ Rob Bass and Salt and Pepper. And we took that tour and we were a good 3 to 5 months.
On the bus,
And
sometimes the bus will break down and everything.
yeah, 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 we had some bus problems a little bit, but we still got to our gigs and stuff that we had to do together, and we had a lot of good time. Um, the way it's funny the way that Derek used to say my name. He used to say Jon Jon. That's how he used to call my name. So yeah, we had a lot of fun out there on the tour. A lot of fun.
Yeah, but he
Yeah,
says the one thing that he said was that you guys were the hardest working um, entertainers that he had seen. So he's seen everyone but he says that he just said you guys just put in the work and it was just, and I think he said he got paid the least amount from anything, but it was not about the money. It was just about the experience watching you guys work, the reaction with the crowd,
yeah.
and seeing the energy and the work ethic that you guys put in there. Do you remember what was driving you guys in those early days to really sort of put in that sort of effort and the work ethic?
I think just pretty much on what it is now, just letting the people know that we're here, we still want to be here, and to and just to perform in front of whenever that we can perform in front of the people, whenever that these promoters will go ahead and call on us. We just want to let people know that we're here too, and we love the stage, and we love our fans, and we love the music, so this is what we do, so we just want to let people know that that we're here also too, and we're going to be the best that we can be and do the best that we can do, and just keep it moving.
The thing is that so today, which is Thursday, New Edition is starting their Legacy tour.
Yeah.
And back in those days, I mean, you guys were, I don't, were you guys ever considered rivals, or what was, or were you more Force MD, or what was the situation back in the day? I'm just trying to go back a bit during when Mamacita and Spread Your Wings and all that was coming out. What was with New Edition? Were you guys seen as rivals or friendly competitors, or how was it back then?
I would say even still to this day, friendly competitors. I mean, we still consider ourselves to be brothers of one another. We've always looked up to New Edition. New Edition has always been our favorite group. So
Wow.
it's just that we've never got a chance to be able to work together like on stage. Like we've done shows with BBD. We've done a
Mm,
few shows with BBD. And that was really basically it. But we've never got a chance to like really do shows with New Edition. Everybody else has except for Troop. Um, so I was listening to the interview that you had did with Damon. It's
yeah.
funny, man, because I remember back in the day we used to do shows with Guy. And Teddy used to always come to the dressing room and was like, "Look, man, I need y'all to close the show." We were like, "No, no, your guys' music is so incredible." And the music just itself that what Guy was putting out was just like unmatched. They were like Guy to me was considered to be like a newer version of the Gap Band,
Mm,
you know, because Charlie Wilson had led the Gap Band, and then you have Aaron Hall that led Guy, and their voices was like very similar.
mm,
And but really great soulful sounds. And then Gap Band's music was hard, hitting hard,
mm.
and so was Guy's music was hitting hard. So it kind of like I compare both of those two. Those are like the two great three-man group that were just like really awesome.
Yeah, no, 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 definitely. But I think so on reflecting, when you think about Troop back in the days when you're out, and I've said it to you before that I was in Nigeria, I used to think you guys were dancers who could sing. That's how
Yeah,
much we rated the way your performance was. The difference with New Edition is they did the steps and they did the routines very similar to Four Tops and Temptations,
Temptations. Yeah,
which meant that it was really nice and choreographed. but it didn't exert too much energy. So even to today, they're able to do similar routines. Even in their age, they're still able to turn and
Hmm.
and do the things. But for
Yeah.
you guys, the routines you guys did, when if anyone wants to watch Arsenio Hall and watch all the your performances there, it takes a lot out of you guys to them to be able to do those performances now. How much of those performances that you used to do back in the day are you guys still able to do now? Because there's an expectation. Oh, troops coming, we're going to see backflips
Yeah.
and the snake and everything.
Those moves can still be duplicated by us. It's just that we don't really do them anymore because the promoters don't pay that much. If they paid us enough money to do it, then yeah, we would do it. Because we can still do the kick worm. We still lean. We can still fall to the floor. Rodney can still do his flips.
Wow.
Um, so I mean, but they don't pay us enough. So I mean, if they paid us enough, I think that we would probably say, hey, they trying to pay a little bit more money. What are we gonna do? So, if the money was right, I would say that we would really still push for all of those moves that we used to do because we still do some of those moves on stage still to this day. We still do the
Wow.
lean. We do that in our intro when we first come out on stage. So we do the lean. We still do the troop dance. We still do a lot of those energetic, hard when we like punch our fist out there and stuff like that. We still do the exciting moves that people still love. And then even some of the stuff that we like recreated as far as like choreography, we like kind of like jazzed up some more stuff to where it's more danceable. So we're still doing moves that people would still like to see.
Wow. But then, as a group, are you guys able to try and put together your own show package and say, okay, let's get Force MDs, High Five, and Troop, and or put a package together, or is it that whatever promoter thinks they need to put you on a show that's they call you in advance, or how does it work?
We've like all of us we've talked like you got Force MDs, High Five, Next, um what's another group that we talk H Town and Silk.
Okay.
We've talked amongst ourselves to see what we can try to do. And we would like to do it. We just need like the right promoters to be able to come together to like really help it, to bring that along because,
Mm.
we're artists and promoters are promoters. So that's the difference. If when promoters and artists can come together to make something happen, then it can actually like really happen.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to there was a documentary that you put together, which was it not the Diary of a Boy Band? What was it?
Five of a kind.
Five Kind, but it was something about something that boy band.
Tales of a boy band.
Boy, yes. So what
Yeah.
what is that something different than Five of a Kind or?
It's um it's a little different, but it's still like kind of like the documentary of our story on certain stories that haven't been told yet. And we're actually going to be doing some more documentary. Really, that's really what it's about. It's about just documenting everything, filming everything, and then seeing how you see what it can turn into. So we're going to keep doing stuff like that, and just letting people see what we're doing and seeing that we're still together, actually putting the eyes out there on ourselves, letting people see us still being together. Even, we're about to be 35 years, April 22nd. So 35 years is pretty cool. And to let the people still see us being together and doing performances and talking and, letting people know still about our story prayerfully it can go ahead and turn into something like a biopic itself.
But I thought Steve was directed something. Did he not direct a sort of a sort of a TV movie about you guys or?
It's just a documentary. It's not a movie. It's a documentary.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And this was and I was looking for it because I did post it, but I can't find it here. I'll have to find it. But this was a documentary on and getting you guys interviewing and talking about your journey.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Where can
What
people
happened? What's going on now? And
where can
stuff like that.
people get that? Where can they watch that?
That's on Tubi. It's on Tubi.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. And now for you guys, it's in fact that you guys re-recorded my favorite song ever. What was the
Mhm.
plan for doing that, short term and long term?
Um, I I've heard other versions of it by, I'll Be Sure, Mark Nelson, and I can't remember who the other artist that I
Maxwell has done a
heard.
version of it, and so is
Okay, all
Neo.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go. So
so it's my favorite
but
song. So,
yeah, A Lady of My Life was a song that I heard Steve singing over the phone to this girl. So
oh
I
yeah.
always thought that it would be pretty cool if he was to go ahead to redo the song himself. Um,
Oh, tell the people
and,
how long ago that was, because
oh man,
his wife might
yeah,
think it's like yesterday. So,
that's when, Thriller had came out and he
yeah.
was,
So guys,
riding high,
it was
yeah,
about
all
82.
over the
So,
charts. 82, he was all over the place. And that's the time that, Steve was really, he was a really big fan of Michael and he was dancing like Michael. And I mean, throughout the whole entire city of Pasadena, I mean, um, he had, we were dancers and everything, and we were together. We would do Thriller, and then we would do Beat It, and then he would do Billie Jean. But he had just turned 13 or 14, I believe, and his mother had got him a silver and black beaded jacket,
oh, those are
and she
big.
gave him a $20 bill for his birthday and a chocolate cake. But before that, he was on the phone singing to this girl, and that's the song that he was singing.
Wow.
So years later, who would have thought? Now Troops recorded the song "Lady of My Life" by Michael Jackson. So it's kind of like surreal, and it's a good record. It's a good
But you're
record.
talking almost 40 years later. So I'm surprised you guys
Yeah.
didn't do it earlier.
Yeah. Um, I guess, and we didn't do it earlier because I guess it was just so much that was going on musically and into what we were doing at that time. There was so much music going on. But always wanted us to, like, if Troop was to do something, I always wanted us to pay tribute to the Jacksons and then
Mm.
to have Steve to pay tribute to Michael because he's such a Michael fan. So, and he's good at that. So, his first tribute to Michael, he did Rock With You.
Oh.
Amazing. It's amazing. And so now, the version of Lady of My Life, at first it was him and Alan. Now it's Troop. So it's pretty cool, man.
So does Steve sing and then you guys do the background, or what
Yeah, yeah,
okay, okay. And based on the success of that, as I said, once if I get to listen to it, then I'll make sure that because I don't think we were in fact, one of the things that Basic Black did last week is they came, played the entire album, and it was something that
yeah,
we were able to celebrate. And I think a lot of us and your fans would say, yeah, we want to be able to see you guys know that you have stuff, be able to support as we can, because we're disillusioned with with the kind of music that's put out now. So anything that
yeah,
seems to be positive, that we're ready for that. Um, so as I said, I didn't realize you guys had something though. So that's going to be important.
yeah,
Um, a lot of people kept asking me that, and at the time, as I said, I think we touched on it briefly. Is that when you guys were almost at the biggest in R&B, and this was just before Boys to Men came out, um,
yeah,
and when New Edition had lost Bobby and they've done any heartbreak, and so they split, and it was the lane was open for yourself and also Rift. Um, you guys fell foul to some labels and management stuff. When you
mhm.
look back, would have been, if knowing what you know now, what would you think you guys could have done differently to make sure that your career didn't stall or go backwards, but still be able to grow?
I think we would have worked out the situation with our management and to still be a part of Atlantic Records where because this is something that you guys don't know. Atlantic ended up signing us to do another 7 albums,
Wow.
which would have put Troop in the 10th album mark. So you had Troop, you had Attitude, you had Deeper, and then they signed us to do another 7 albums. But the management change it it just threw everything off. And so Sylvia, she just couldn't take that situation. But if everything what we know what we would know now is that we would have stayed with our management, talked it over with them, straightened things out, stayed with Atlantic, and did those other 7 albums, which it would have kind of like it would have put a damper on a lot of other R&B groups out
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Because see, no one really talks about this. New Edition had already did what they could do as a group in the span of 5 years. They've done everything. I mean, you name it, they've done it from Lou Rawls special TV shows, from uh Solid Gold, a Christmas album, a
mm,
remake album. Um, I mean, they've done it all. The
mm,
only thing that was left for them to do was to go solo.
mm,
That was the only thing that they haven't accomplished yet. But they have accomplished everything else as a group. So it was nothing, no other place for New Edition to go was to go solo. So when they when they went solo, that left the door open for Troop. But as Troop was doing their thing, they were accomplishing their goals also as solo artists, and it worked out. And no other group has ever done that.
mm.
No other Black R&B group has ever done that. No matter how big Boys to Men has gotten in the music industry, they never accomplished that act. Not like New Edition.
Yeah.
So New Edition is was just really the group for everybody to look up to. It's just what it is.
Yeah, but and I think I think we're learning as fans how, um, back in those days, the who was it I spoke with? I can't remember now. Um, oh, okay, yeah. It was Kyle West, and he was saying that
Yeah.
how black labels, unlike some of the big major white labels, they know that they have a short shelf life, and
Hmm.
they're quick to say, let's get as much as we can from the artist because we don't know how long we're going to be around.
That's
As
right.
compared to if you're signed to a major, that they've been there 100 years and they're still going to be there another 100 years. So they're not looking
Hmm.
for quick success, and they probably are a lot more. They're a lot more likely to look after you in the long run.
Yeah.
But when you're signed to a production deal or a management deal, they can control that. And the label then says, if we're going to have to deal with all this drama, we can just get cut ties and find somebody else. Um, and so it's really sad, that you guys had to go through a lot of that. But as five friends, and during the sort of dispute with management and Sylvia saying, yeah, this is not going to work. How did you guys mentally deal with that, and how to be able to move forward? Because the fact that you guys are still here today, the four of you, and still being able to tour is a success, because a lot of people could have taken it the wrong way and could have just gone and spiraled out of control.
Yeah. Of course, when things happen the way that they do, it hurts. But there's some there's some kind of way where you have to go ahead and listen to God, try to figure the whole thing out with God, and have him to move you from place to place until you're back doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Mm.
And I think that's what we did, mentally, spiritually, and physically, even though that they were, see, when everything has shut down, it was like there's really no place to go, but trying to just to figure out what you're going to do with your life.
Mm.
And so when we were cut short at that time, um, thanks, praise be to God that, we still had parents that were out there and that took care of us and made sure that we were okay and that, they kept our minds, they kept our minds and our spirits, right and together. And they always prayed for us because they always wanted to see that the group was to, you know, be the group and to come back and just to do what we do.
Mm.
So our parents held us up a lot in prayer and just always wanted to see the best for us all. So I think that we kind of basically took that and took note of that to try to just do the best that we can do and be in the group still for people and just and to still to do what God has called us to do. And but like you said, it could have gotten really, really bad. Because some people they spiral out. But I
Mm.
think with God and faith and you know our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, I mean, I think he took care of everybody and just made sure that we were going to be okay. And so I guess even right now we're going on 35 years now, so I guess we're all right.
Yeah. Did you guys ever fall out within yourselves, blaming each other for for anything?
Well, I don't. Well, me, Rodney, and Reggie, we kept a level head. We were okay. I think it was just really the battle was with between our two lead singers, and that's just what it was. And so it ended up being kind of bad for them, but they came out of it. They're okay now. We're all okay. Uh, and we did lose Reggie.
Mm.
But now, the four of us, we're okay and we're just trying to we're trying to keep it together and we're trying to be there for our fans, be there for our families,
Mm.
and just, and make this happen.
How do you guys manage without Reggie? Because for such a
It's
long time.
rough. Yeah, it's rough. Reggie, he's such he was the energy of the group. He was the fireball. He
Mm.
was the one he was just always, he kept everybody excited being on stage just because of how his energy was on stage. I mean, Reggie was incredible. So, he's missed a lot. He's really missed, but we actually feel his presence when we're together on stage. So we definitely feel him when we're on stage performing. We definitely feel him.
So because he wasn't, so it's never a case that you think, okay, we need to get somebody else to replace him and add to the routine, or can the four of you manage it um, in a way that sort of does gives honor and respect to the true brand?
It's kind of rough because you just can't sit up on the couch and think you can get up off of the couch and do some troop moves.
It's true.
That's
It's
that that's hard. I don't,
true.
and Johnny, he slid right through by the grace of God to be able to dance the way that he dances with New Edition. He probably doesn't move like the rest of the group, but he exactly doing those moves. He is doing the steps, and that's what happened, and that's what counts. Because we said it earlier, New Edition is known for a group that's known for stepping,
Mm,
not that much dancing. Troop is a group that's known for dancing and a little
yeah.
bit of stepping. So it's like it's those dance moves that Troop do. You have to be able to move your body and be really good at it. I mean, it's no joke. It's no joke with this choreography that we do.
And you
I mean,
guys,
and we actually tried it with a couple of guys before,
mm.
but their dancing, it was they couldn't dance.
What
They
did
could
you?
sing great. They were good, but they good vocalists, but the dancing, it it didn't happen.
Yeah, and I think that's a major thing when you think about, when I speak to Buddy and he says, look, yeah, Kenny was the main singer, and yes, you could get somebody who can sing, but if you can't sing like Kenny, then it doesn't sound the same way, and then the vibe can change and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
getting, unless somebody came in, if you think about High Five and when um oh goodness, I just lost his name. But when you
Tony
have no before Tony passed, they when Irby, I can't remember my name. I was just
or
Tristan.
Tristan,
Yes. So Tristan
Tristan,
comes
yeah,
in,
yeah,
you know, um, is in the second video, Kissing Game, but then he's also on the second album and third album. So in a way,
hmm,
he was there as early as you can be there, and so and
right,
be and really be part of it. So it's a lot different when if somebody came in, joined you guys back in 89, 90, then yes, so they would have known the early steps and have learned all that stuff. But to just
right.
kind of been, shoehorned in today, unless they're, and I'm just wondering who could really dance well enough. Maybe Damien could decide, yeah, I want to join you guys because I can try and learn the
Hmm.
routines and stuff. Or even Ronnie DeVoe could join you guys. But there's very few R&B artists from groups that can just probably I can think can learn the routines as well as you guys and join straight in. What is your favorite routine, a song to perform today as a group?
Uh, Spread my wings.
Okay,
Um, I would
yeah.
say like spread my wings and my heart. Um, I'm not soup this cool. I like that.
Mm.
If it's going to be my favorite, I would have to say spread my wings.
I think, yeah. I mean, how
Yeah,
tough would it be to is it to where you have to do attitude or
yeah,
Mamacita? How hard is it to is it
yeah.
like, oh my goodness, we're gonna have to do a lot of routine checking and stuff?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Some very tedious stuff that we came to be able to do after all these years, but it came from like, we were rehearsing at least 5 days a week, 4 or 5 hours a day. So
Wow.
that's just what it was. So we can be able to be as tight as we can and just to be as good as we can. That's just what it took. And
Yeah.
Rodney's mother, she did not play. She was a stickler for that. When she would leave to go get us some food or whatever, when she got back, we had to have a whole step done.
Wow.
She was serious. So that's just what it was.
Well, who is she? Does she have a blueprint that she says, look at how these guys are doing it? You guys need to be up there. Was there anyone that you thought that, okay, they're the masters, we need to up our game to compete?
Um, I don't as far as for mom goes, I don't think she really had a motto for us to like to go off of. If it was, it would probably be the Jacksons and the
Okay.
Temptations, probably more Temptations than the Jacksons.
But it's like people like Force MDs, they were more street dancers similar to what you guys are doing
Yeah.
compared to, say, New
Hmm.
Edition, who were modeled after Motown.
Yeah. The
Okay.
Force MDs were that other group that performers, awesome.
Mm.
Singers, a cappella, awesome. And we messed around with some of their songs too. We didn't perform them, but we would mess around with some of their songs and sing them, and
Mm.
just to hear how we would sound doing some of their background vocals to some of their songs that they did.
Mm. What about
Yeah.
Rift? Did you Rift?
I like Riff. Riff was a cool group. Um, I like Riff's choreography and I like their songs. And I like how their songs, uh, how they were laid out for them. Riff
Yeah.
had some pretty good songs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very unfortunate, very similar to your, well, not similar to your story. Their story about they did the first album, then the label gave them the opportunity to do more R&B New Jack album for the
Yeah.
second album, and it's like, okay, now let's go back to doing the sort of the pop ballads. So they wanted to be more, we formed Boys to Men, they wanted to be in that lane, uh, but two or three members of the group thought, no, you know what, we want to stay and be like Jodeci. And if we're not going to continue being like Jodeci, we want out, and they got blacklisted from labels,
Ooh.
and because the manager says, look, if this is the best deal, let's just stay and do this. They had David Foster coming to write a song, so they were trying to put them and do those type of big ballads, but
Right.
at the moment they just thought they were hot. They'd just done White Men Can't Jump and the
Hmm.
soundtrack, and they thought, okay, yeah, look, we can get a deal anywhere else. But all the labels were told don't sign them, and so
Oh
that was.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I
That
mean,
that's the real situation. That's what happened with us.
but then, but you said Sylvia still. Did Sylvia think, I'd rather lose you guys and keep anyone else from signing you, or was there a bad reputation on your name that no other label wanted to touch you?
Well, the album that I would say that happened because of an album that came out without Rodney, Reggie, and myself being on the cover. That album was called A Little Something Something. And prior to that album and what was said on the album, as far as with the credits and everything, and the people that were talked about, that's the main reason why Troop hasn't been looked at as far as to be signed to another major label again.
Hmm. Hmm. But then, okay. So, did you have a new manager that thought, okay, let me go around and try and smoothen things out, and get and
Later on, um, later on, around the time when we had did that album, Mayday, there was somebody that that had their hands on us as far as the management.
mm,
They tried to smooth things over, with a letter and some, but there was no response or anything like that.
wow, yeah, goodness. As I said, it's
It
just
happens.
it's one of the things that happen. But that's the success, the fact that despite all of that, you guys are still here. It,
But yeah, but see, the good thing about it is that it doesn't stop the history of Troop. It doesn't stop the legacy of Troop. It
mm,
doesn't stop the future of Troop and what Troop can do, even
mm,
still to this day. Now that people are able to go ahead and download songs and
yeah.
uh, uh, it doesn't stop us from us being able not to do that. We can do that. I mean, 'cause there's several songs that are out on Troop right now that people don't know, but they're out there. Songs like Forever, um, Not in a Million Years, Pick Up Your Money, um, Why You Leaving, Unfriendly,
But
uh,
are these a variety of
the,
different singles that you've recorded over the
yeah,
years?
yes, yes. These are Troop songs. These are all new Troop songs.
Okay.
All,
Have you compiled them onto like an album together? Like,
no, well, we've taken some of those songs and put them on there's a CD called Troop the B sides. There's a CD called there's a Troop CD called Baby Makers, Baby Maker. Um, there's let me see, trying to figure out. Da, 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 da. And then there's just some singles that are out there of Troop. those new singles. But we've taken two or three new songs, and put them on songs like that have uh like older songs on there.
Okay. I mean, but I do wonder because when you think of how people consume and say, okay, we're going to download the whole album or use, to get the whole album playlist on YouTube or get Spotify to play because they're scattered everywhere. There is no, you've got to search for this song and search for that song, and that's why I just thought it might have been good to put out all these songs on one single EP and upload it to the streaming
Yeah,
service so people know, okay, here's a Troop album that has a selection of songs. Is that something
right.
you guys could even consider? Or because even the lady in my life, they have it. If it's part of something, a whole, then we've got a whole project to look at all the different songs that you have, as opposed
Right.
to just picking up singles here and there.
Uh, maybe it has to be a conversation within that to ask to talk to the fellas and see it, about us putting together all of those songs and
Yeah,
putting all of those songs to make them all on one CD.
yeah.
Which I think would be that would be pretty cool as well too, because they're all still new material, that songs that people haven't heard yet. So I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you still think of, if I don't know if you did see with Basic Black, they put together, what was it? It was 8 songs or so, but it was because it's in one place, so people can just go search for that album and listen to the songs. Even when after 7, I spoke with them, they had a new album that came out, but it's easy to go and get all the songs from that album, even though you're pushing a single, but then people can listen to that single and say, oh, I like this, I want to listen to more. But you still know that okay, the collection of songs are in one place. Um, the way the streaming service stuff works, it's not everyone. I don't even listen to stuff on streaming, apart from podcasts. But I'm more likely to when I'm on YouTube to play the playlist of all the songs together, so it's ordered down and just continuously. So because our viewing habits are different, so that's why if I have to start searching for different songs there here and there, I wouldn't find any connection to them. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but it is about because I don't know if you guys put out songs and music to generate revenue and try and live off of that, or is it a sense of, in fact, let me not put words in your mouth. What is the motivation to put out music like you've just done with the lady in my life?
I guess just to let people know that this is something that we can still do,
Yeah,
and and it can be heard right there on Spotify, YouTube, or um pretty much anywhere where even new songs can be played at, can be heard at. Those songs are out there just to let people know that we still got it.
yeah. Well, I'm going to look for the lady in my life. I'm going to try and push it and let everyone know about it. I didn't realize it was
Yeah,
out. Um, also, just to let people know that they can. And as I said, anytime you guys have anything going, like I put out the stuff with you guys, Boys to Men, and So For Real. So if there's anything, any other updates, then if you just always let me know, then I'll make sure the fans are able to track you guys down because um, there's a legacy tour going on, but there's still plenty of dates for other artists like yourselves to make headlines and stuff like that. And always the
yeah,
hope is the more people start to look out for you guys, that then may have a feeder effect on promoters reaching out to you guys.
you're great. Yeah, I'll what I'll do is anything that comes across my table that's about you, I'll go ahead and I'll just send it to you.
Yeah, if you saw that I put it out there so people are aware.
Yeah,
Because as I said, most in the midst of a busy time, most people, they appreciate the fact that, unlike other channels who focus on hip hop and stuff, I try and focus solely on R&B and solely to get as much information about our favorite artists out as possible. So whatever you send, but I will also then, it'd be great to be able to listen to your track and then be able to let people know that they need to support it as well.
Wonderful, great, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I always appreciate it, Jon. I appreciate the fact that you're very humble enough to even support the other artists that interview, and you're always showing love to everyone. So that's when the community see people like yourself, Karen White, I'll be sure commenting on interviews. They're like, okay, this doesn't make sense, to see that you guys are showing love to your fellow artists, which is always a good thing.
At the end of the day, to be honest, I have all of those artists in on my playlist, so it wouldn't be right for me not to say anything. I mean, I I, I have this stuff in my playlist. I play it all the time. It's great R&B music. It's wonderful. So why not, chime in and say something about, so and so, and then tell them hello and love what you're doing, and keep it moving.
It was it like, as an artist yourself, hearing the stories of somebody else, um, that you I don't know, are there things that you find out that are like, wow, I didn't realize they went through that, or how's it like for yourself, because you've experienced it. I have never experienced it. I'm not just listening, but you've been in that industry. When you hear your colleagues share their own story, what's that like?
I mean, it's amazing because you don't know what people go through
Mm.
or what they went through. You just don't know. And so to be able to find out that these people go through type of situations just like you do, it's just like wow. So, but to hear each and every story, that's, man, it's like wow. It all happened to us, but we're better from it.
Yeah,
Um, and everybody is doing well these days.
yeah,
I mean, it's good to see everybody still being able to be together and to work.
yeah.
That's the good thing. I mean, the guys, Troop, we are brothers. We love each other. We're having a ball every time that we see each other.
Mm.
Um, it's a lot of fun when we're just in each other's presence, getting ready to go out in front of a packed stage, a packed house, and do what we do. And we get behind, the curtains, we pray, and we hit that stage, and to be able to hear the audience is just to let us know that we're still on the right path and we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, and that's good. And when I see you guys, and I see people like today with Big Bubs coming together, and like, yeah,
Yeah,
let's really, it just shows that, that brotherhood or sisterhood, depending if it's like SWV. It's like,
yeah,
if you stay to connected, stay together, and because in the midst of when I spoke to Lily, and talked about wanting to end her life, and getting just a regular 9 to 5 in a call center, and rebuilding herself, through all that, to now to be able to celebrate, the stuff from a TV show and Bravo, get ready for a tour, and all this stuff seems to just be happening. But it was like they stuck with it, but they made sure that the three of them were within a good place. And that's the one thing
hmm
that it's always welcomed when we see groups like Troop, staying as brothers, despite ups and downs, being able to still be one and be connected. And that's the one thing that we as fans appreciate. And so definitely look forward to the success of Troop, and letting people know that you guys are out, you guys have got stuff happening. And but anything I need to do to put your name out there, just let me know, and I'll keep reminding the people that we need to not
yeah,
sleep on you guys. That you guys were hot back in the late '80s, early '90s, but you're still able to keep up, and make headlines on stage.
yeah.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it, man.
Yes, yeah. The one thing I still would need to hopefully send is you said you had a picture with Michael Jackson, and that would be great to be able to let
Mm.
people see that, to see that wow, this that you did, you did meet. Apart from the time you met him at the school when you told the story, did you get to meet
Yeah.
Michael at any other time out after that?
No, just the rest of his family after that.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, if anyone that missed it,
You know how MJ was. MJ was super busy. He was
yeah.
super busy, and to be able to get to see him is like, actually I did get to see him a second time when he performed Remember the Time at the Soul Train Awards.
Ah,
So that was like my second time being able to see him.
yeah,
But other than that, to be able to get a chance to see that guy, and I mean that's a chance in a lifetime,
yeah.
because he really was, he was super busy all the time.
Mm,
He was man, he would only go places that he had to go to because he
yeah.
had to go receive an award or something.
Yeah, open up a mall in
Yeah,
China, then
yeah,
come. Yeah, that's what they.
yeah. That's how busy that he was. So for me to be able to see him and to talk to him that first time was amazing. I mean, it was great. And so
Yeah.
it was like I got a chance to even take a little bit of time out of my little tiny busy schedule to this man's big, huge busy schedule, and to be able to see him and have him to notice me and say some words to me. It's amazing. It's wonderful. I'll never forget
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember speaking to John Marie, and who was Teddy's engineer, and he says that yeah, they'll say, "Okay, Michael, we'll see you in the morning," and he'll take the vocals home, and the next minute, they'll see that he's on the news that he's out in China opening up a supermarket,
Yep.
right in the middle of recording.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says
Yeah.
like, "Wait a minute, we just saw you just see
We just
yesterday."
saw it last night.
And then
Right.
he's off there, does that, and he flies back in. And I think people
Woo.
just didn't realize that he
That's a
doesn't just
busy
show up for the
that's
sake of it.
Man, that's what you really call like really super busy. How are you going to be in the studio with a person one night and then the next night they're in China? For
Yeah,
real?
yeah,
Come on, man. Who
yeah,
does that?
yeah, yeah.
That's super busy.
Yeah, there's no one person
Wow.
who's met Michael that has not had anything but the utmost respect for him and stuff. And
Yeah, great guy.
it was really sad that Rolling Stones decided to say that he was the 86th best vocalist of all time. And I'm thinking, so they didn't remember any of the stuff that he did when he was with the Jacksons or when he did his Off the Wall and all that stuff. They just assumed that he couldn't sing and stuff. That they were, and not trying to name other artists like Ariana Grande or Beyonce, even Madonna, even Mary J, as good as they are, but they didn't have the vocal power and soul that Michael started as a
Mhm.
kid and moved up and
No,
moved up. It's just that he became too big. He became so big that his song choices changed. But if you look at his performance at the '98 Academy Awards when he sang "Man in the Mirror," I don't think
yeah,
they've had a more powerful live performance on the Grammys before or since.
no,
But that was him singing
no,
live, not with a tape. But as I
right,
said, they a lot of these things are just politics and controversies that there's you know you know hopefully they're going to do a good biopic on him. But as I said, my all-time favorite person and artist is Michael, and my biggest regret was I bought my tickets with my wife and my brother to see him on the This Is It tour in London. We got our
mm,
tickets, and sadly, a week before he was supposed to come, he was taken away. So yeah, but so anytime I hear stories and the fact that you've now recorded my favorite song ever, I'm gonna have to listen and make sure that you guys did it justice.
oh yeah. We can even talk about it once after you hear it again. We can talk about it.
Yeah,
But yeah, there hasn't been a more powerful entertainer, or we I would say most of us kind of basically say it like this. Luther Vandross was the greatest vocalist of all time.
Mhm.
And you have Michael Jackson, the greatest entertainer of all time.
Mhm.
And that puts it, when you say the greatest entertainer, that's the greatest everything in about entertainment, vocalist, dancer,
Mhm.
humanitarian,
Mhm.
um, just everything about what that man exemplified as an entertainer.
Mhm.
How serious and focused that he was about his harmonies in the studio.
Mhm.
Um, how serious that he was about certain sounds that he wanted musically for his music. I mean, this guy, Michael Jackson, yeah, he's just it, yeah, and that kind of hurt me about where they put him at number 86. I was like,
Mhm.
this is so insane
Yeah.
that uh that's how sleep that these people are.
Yeah.
They're just out of it. They're out of it. They're out of it. I don't know what to call that, but to
Yeah.
have him and that and have to have him in that bracket being number 86,
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
the person that put him in that, they're not human themselves.
Yeah. I mean, they know what they were doing, and they're trying to
Yeah.
discredit him. The question I had then is, I never understood how they could ever um, say that Chris Brown was the closest to Michael. I personally have not understood the comparison. There's no if
Well,
there was
well, well,
anyone that
well,
I
well,
could okay, go ahead.
well, kudos to Chris because you saw and what his reaction was. It was as if like he told those people to go to hell
Yeah,
because he's like you can't put me at being the next as Michael Jackson. He was like I'm not falling for that.
yeah,
And he didn't. So you, that so that's how he pretty much put those people up under the rug by them
yeah,
trying to call him being the next great guy or whatever. He's like, no, I'm not falling for that. So
yeah,
kudos to him for not even, you know, going for what they were talking about.
yeah. The only person that I could think, one second, my I didn't realize my thing wasn't plugged in. Hold on one second. The
All
only
right.
person that I could think about is Beyonce. Now, I'm not. So I'm not like her biggest fan, and away from the controversy. But when I see her on stage and I see her, so I'm not talking about her music because I think she's had two good albums, despite all the other albums. But she's had two big albums which had some big singles, but they're not. So she doesn't have the music catalog as powerful as say Mary J. Blige, or Anita Baker or Sade, but she, but on stage, I don't know how people could talk about Janet, but even Janet, as much as I love Janet, I don't know anyone who I've seen on stage as a female that does what she does. She goes all out. If I was to think about, okay, over the last 20 years, who have I seen on stage, on in concerts and in performance that has elements of what Michael would do? I think that's she's probably the only one that I could think of. Just the package of singing, dancing, the whole routine, and just taking it to another level. I don't know, as a performer yourself, an entertainer, you're probably better to judge it than I am. But what are your thoughts?
There's 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 nobody.
No, 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 no,
There's,
not at Michael's level, but anyone. When if we're looking at anyone who, out of all the performers and entertainers we've seen over the
I
last 30,
can't see them. I can't see them nor hear them. I can't.
no, no, not as close. I don't.
Just
No,
can't.
no one can touch him. But if there was anyone that's on second tier and we're looking at the best of the rest, who who I mean, I'm not talking about, Prince is a different type of entertainer. He was more of a musician and a composer and all that stuff and stuff. So he doesn't entertain like Michael did. But I'm talking about the best of the rest. You had the Ushers and you had whether you're talking about Chris Brown or Neil stuff.
If it's gonna be anybody else, in my opinion, I would say his brothers. That's it. Because that's where he
Okay.
got it from.
Okay.
That's where he
But
came from.
but on stage,
I'm
so
not
when you look on
not
stage and see them perform and dance and stuff.
everybody is just okay. I mean, they're great. I mean, you have Michael Jackson and then you have everybody else. That's just what it is. You have Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
He's the king of bubblegum uh rock, soul, R&B, pop.
Mm.
There's no one else who has those titles.
Yeah, yeah,
And
no,
Michael has all of those titles because he was doing bubblegum when he was a kid and he
yeah,
became number one at that.
yeah. Yeah, as I said,
Beat It was a number one rock song.
yeah, I've no,
I mean,
yeah, I know, I
ain't no
look,
ain't
yeah,
that's it.
no,
It's a wrap.
yeah, as I said, Jay-Z was crazy enough to say that, oh yeah, that Beyonce has achieved more than Michael because
He only said that he only said that
she's
because
done
that's his
Coachella.
wife.
Yeah,
That's
because
it.
she's done Coachella
That's his wife.
and Michael's never done a Coachella. And I'm thinking, okay, he's sold out in Russia,
Yeah, Michael didn't
in
do a Coachella because he
Poland.
didn't. Yeah,
Yeah,
Michael didn't do Coachella because he didn't have to.
Coachella, but it's like good
He
doing
didn't.
any music festival. It's just,
Yeah, and if he would have done it, if he would have done it while he was alive, man, please,
but it's too
everybody
small.
and their
It's
mama
too
would have
small
showed
for
up.
him. Yeah, but it's too small for him. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
he did where was that? Was that in Poland? He did that HBO special. Um, he just, you'd see hundreds of thousands of people. So, and he can go anywhere in the world and stuff. So there is, I know he was just saying it but no, but I was just saying that I, as much as I do see Beyonce on stage and think, wow, she's actually, she's an amazing performer, and
He's amazing.
actually,
Yeah,
I don't see, I don't see, um, I don't see any of the guys from Usher, Chris, able to compete with what she does on the stage. Um, and maybe Janet in her heyday. But the fact that Beyonce can perform but also sings live, it just seems as if you know, um, she just seems to just perfect, continually perfect her craft. So that was just what I was just seeing,
yeah.
and she always said that she was the biggest Michael Jackson fan. She just emulated everything from him. So
I
that's her
mean,
role
I
model.
mean, yeah. Of course. I mean, even Michael said it best because even he did it. And he said, "To be great, you have to study the greats that were before you."
Mm,
So he did that himself as he would study Jackie Wilson and James Brown.
mm,
So that's just that's what in order to be great, you have to get it from somewhere.
yeah.
You got to get it from somewhere. And then I mean, if especially where you're at as a vocalist, you have to study the people where your vocal ability is.
Mm.
If you have a big voice, then you need to study people like James Ingram, Michael McDonald,
I love Michael
uh,
McDonald.
Donny Hathaway. You got to
Mm,
study people like Johnny Gill. You got to study people like Teddy Pendergrass. You got
mm.
to study people like uh uh what's my other guy's name? Um Jeffrey Osborne. You
Oh
have to
wow.
study those people. That's where my voice is vocally. So I got
Mm,
a lot of vocal teachers. But then also too, I can sing high with a falsetto. So I got to study people also like El DeBarge and his brother Bobby, and then I got to study Philip Bailey. So that's because that's where my voice is in the
Mm.
falsetto category. So I kind of got a long range to be able to study as far as like a lot of singers.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. And so if any other vocalist is coming, they have to figure out where they're at vocally and study those people.
Mm.
If they have a mid range voice, they got to study people like Michael Jackson. They got to study Stevie Wonder. They got to study Tevin Campbell. They got to study uh uh any of those people that have mid-range voices. They got to study all of those singers.
Yeah.
But then if you're an entertainer, if you like to perform and dance, even if you got a big voice, you got to study Michael Jackson.
It's true. It's
You
true.
got to study his brothers. You have a long way to go. So it's like, in order to be great, you got to study the greats before you. I mean, and
Yeah.
you can't. I mean, you can't. You can't do anything lesser than that.
Yeah.
You got to study the people who were great before you, and that's how you become your own self.
Yeah.
Once you study them, and then you start doing you, and that comes out within the studio, then you figure out that that's where your voice is at.
Yeah. I mean, well said. So, John, as we finish, what can I expect from you as the solo artist and from Troop between now and the end of the year? So let's get the fans excited.
I'll just finish recording. My next record is called No More. Hopefully, that'll be released sometime this year.
Okay.
Just working on all of the mixing and mastering and all that, part of it. But it is finished, so I'm just waiting to see what's going on with that. And it prayerfully to be released sometime this year. Troop's new single right now is Lady in My Life. We'll be expecting to see Troop doing more concerts, being out there, and just check out all of the radio stations. Like I think like in the United States, pretty much. I think that's what we're covering right now. We're on a promo tour where we're having interviews every day with these radio stations about our new single, "The True
Okay.
Lady of My Life."
Okay. That's great. But hopefully you guys will shoot a video because that's another way of getting people to recognize that you guys are out, especially on YouTube. But as soon as I'll do my best to make sure that the fans get to check it out. And I know most of us, if it's on YouTube, they're able to watch it and stuff. So we'll start to push that as well. And then the documentary out on Tubi
Yeah,
right now.
Five of a
Okay,
Kind, Story of Truth.
okay, okay.
That's the next one.
That's the next one. Yes, and so, but anyway, when just any time that anything's happening, just let me know. We push it out, and hopefully over this hopefully when your single comes out, you let me know. We push that out, and but hopefully we'll actually get you back after in just before summer, just to touch base, and we'll may go live that time. I think
Okay.
it's I wanted to go live to get people to respond, but I wasn't sure how much of the Zoom that you were you were saying that you weren't sure,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. I
I
got
was
it now.
you got it now.
Yeah,
So next
I
time,
got it. Yeah.
in a couple of months, we're going to go live so that people can respond to you and ask questions.
Great.
While you're on. So I could have always gone live, but I thought no, let me make sure. But this time now, I
Yeah.
trust that the next time we go, probably in a month or two time, we'll go
Yeah.
live and just let people be able to ask some questions, especially actually what we may even do. I will push out the Lady in My Life stuff, but we may if you think about it, yeah, so probably after Easter we may go live and play the song and just get people to respond to what they think and stuff.
Okay. Great. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay,
Sounds sounds awesome. Looking
yeah.
forward to it.
Yeah, okay, well, I appreciate the time. Always a pleasure talking to you. And yeah, but I'm gonna try and push out the song now, and then we'll reschedule again after Easter.
You got it. You got it, Nnamdi.
All right. Take care, my friend.
All right. Blessings.
All right. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the Halftime Chat community. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. But most importantly, why don't you consider being a member? That's a way of supporting the channel, but also getting a lot of videos ahead of time, a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and some exclusive content that doesn't get shared. But anyway, thanks for watching and thanks for being part of Halftime Chat.